Imagine you walk into your neighborhood kirana store and the owner opens up and tells you that, hey Pavan, the business is not running smoothly and I don't know what to do with this kirana store. Can you please tell me how to turn around the situation and I want to make some profits? Now, if you start helping the kirana store owner in that situation, you are essentially wearing a management consultant hat. Hello guys, my name is Pavan Satiraju. I'm an ex-management consultant at McKinsey, and in this video, I'm going to decode what management consultant means and what management consultant does in the simplest possible way. The four things that we are going to go through in this video. Number one, what does a consultant do? Number two, what are the companies that are operating in this sphere? Number three, what are the benefits of being a management consultant? And number four, finally, what are the ways in which you can crack these roles? So let's get started with what does a consultant do? The first thing that you need to understand in this entire scenario is that you are helping out the kirana store owner. So if you consider kirana store owner as a business and you as somebody who is helping the kirana store business, it means that the business is your client. You are helping a client solve a business problem. The client could be your kirana store owner, or the client could be an airlines business, or the client could be Swiggy, Zomato, or anybody else in this world, right? So you are essentially helping a business solve their business problem. The business problem could be about increasing the sales, or sometimes it could be about reducing the costs as well. Now, what does it take for you to go and help a business? These management consultants solve the client's business problems in a very structured way, right? The first thing that a management consultant does is understand the problem a bit more and define the problem statement. For example, the kirana store owner gave you a very broad understanding and said that, hey, my store is in losses and I want to improve and I want to get into some profits. You start questioning, what are your current sales? How much worth of groceries did you sell the last month? What are your losses? What do you want in the next month? Do you want, if you are selling 2 lakhs, do you want to sell goods worth of 2.5 lakhs or 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs or whatever it is? And how much profits do you want to make, right? This is what you capture first even before recommending an answer. And then you define the problem. Say that, hey, the kirana store owner wants to basically sell 2.5 lakhs worth of goods with a profit margin of 20%. Now, that is what you want to target and that is what you want to achieve going forward. Okay, so you define the problem statement even before starting to jump into the answers. The second thing that any consultant does is, once we have the problem statement, understand and structure the problem itself, right? There could be hundreds of different reasons why this kirana store is in losses. It could be because of competition, it could be because of price, it could be because of, let's say, current industry trends, blah, 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 blah. There could be, let's say, 10 or 15 reasons why there might be a loss. So you start listing these reasons. Number one, it could be more and more people are now aware of a recession-like scenario. So they are not going and spending on discretionary items like chocolates, ice creams, so on and so forth. So they are saving a lot. That could be one of the reasons. Number two, now more and more people are getting used to online deliveries, so they are not going and walking into the neighborhood kirana stores. Number three, there might be another kirana store that open up in the street next to you. Or finally, there could be more and more discounts coming from other sources. So you can list down all these things and you'll start grouping these factors. A few of them could be marketing related, right? Hey, can you offer a discount? Or can you do a home delivery? Similarly, there could be factors around pricing. There could be factors around competition. There could be factors around industry. You group all these 10 or 15 factors into small buckets and then you say that, hey, now these are the 5 buckets or these are the 5 groups that I want to understand a bit more, right? This is what structuring the problem means. Having 10 to 15 factors and then grouping them into small groups, or you call them as buckets, right? Having them in small buckets and then prioritizing which bucket you want to first learn more about. Now, that's a tricky question. How do you prioritize a bucket or a group versus another group? How do you say that, hey, competition is the biggest problem here versus marketing? That comes from your experience, right? You might have solved similar such problems for other clients, other businesses. So your knowledge, your expertise, or there might be somebody in your team with 15-20 years experience, that experience will help you start prioritizing the problem. You are not giving the answer, remember. You are only prioritizing based on your past experience. And then you say that, hey, these are the potential problems. This is the priority based on our experiences. Now, I want to do the analysis and say that, hey, whether this is actually a problem or not. You start with competition and you want to analyze in the 1 kilometer, 2 kilometer radius, did any new Kirana stores open up? Yes or no? You'll probably do a quick survey and realize that, hey, yes, that is a problem. Or no, that is not a problem. Doesn't matter. But you will start doing analysis based on what you have already decided as a priority. You first don't do the analysis and then you decide on the priorities. You first prioritize and then do the analysis. This is the major difference, guys. You need to understand this a little more. Consulting companies work on the business problems of their clients probably for 8 weeks to 12 weeks, not more. And these are pressing problems. Companies go and present their results to shareholders in the market every 3 months. So they want faster results, right? So these things move very, very, very fast. Understand? So you first prioritize and then you analyze. Otherwise, if you do an analysis and if it doesn't turn out well, then you are not going anywhere, right? So you first use your knowledge to prioritize and then do the analysis. And finally, you go and recommend to the client. Okay? You conduct the analysis and finally say to the client, hey, these are the 3 or 4 things that you can potentially do to improve the sales of the Kirana store. This is what happens in every single consulting project. You take out the Kirana store, keep airlines business. Take out airlines business and you keep probably a food delivery company. And this repeats again and again and again. And you do this 20 times, you are going to be the best problem solver in this world. And that is what consultant companies do. And that is the reason why they get paid some of the biggest bucks in the industry. Now, let's see which companies are actually doing this stuff. The big 3 traditionally, Bain and Company, McKinsey, and BCG. These are the strategy consulting firms which go and support some of the biggest companies, the Fortune 10 companies, the Fortune 5 companies in the world, or even Fortune 500 companies in the world, right? And let's not forget, these are not the only companies. There are a lot of other companies as well. Kearney, our very own Infosys Consulting, EY Parthenon, Strategy, and I can fill up this entire page with probably 50 or 60 other company names. But the point is, it's not just McKinsey, BCG, Bain. There are a lot of other companies which do similar kind of work for solving clients' problems. Now, why does anybody want to be a consultant, right? The first and the foremost reason is, of course, salaries. The consultants are paid very well. In the US, the base salary is around $150,000 post MBA, and in India, it is around 30 to 35 LPA. This number compared to other industries is definitely on the higher end. The second reason why a lot of people want to get into consulting in the early stages of the career is exposure, right? You get to work on one project, probably for Swiggy. The next probably is Indigo, and the following the client is Reliance. You see the diversity. One is an airlines client, one is a food delivery company, and the other is a traditional industry behemoth, right? So you can do 5 to 6 projects every year across different sectors, industries, and you might be solving digital marketing problems for Swiggy, operations problem for Reliance, and some other problem for Indigo. So you are working across industries and also sectors, which will help you build up your overall business sense to the best possible extent in a very short frame. That exposure is definitely something which a lot of people want, and that is the reason why this is a very glamorous field to get into. After salaries and exposure, number 3 is who you are going to actually work with, your network. You are going to work with some of the best brains in the world, right? People come from Harvard, MIT, top IIMs, top universities in the world. These are PhD students, MBA students, all these guys coming in under one single roof and working together. You can imagine what kind of solutions they would propose, right? That is again one of the big reasons for the firms. And with this particular network, you get a lot of exit opportunities. And what does exit opportunity means? A lot of people want to work in the consulting for about 2 years, 3 years, and after that they want to move out. And the reason is because consulting is a very, very intensive industry, right? You are working on a client problem for 8 weeks, so you are spending a lot of time at the client side. You are spending a lot of time solving that problem. So people want to move out quickly after spending 2 to 3 years building the network, building the exposure, and so different other opportunities also open up. In this scenario, what happens is when you are ready to move out, you have a lot of options. You can move into strategy roles in some of these companies, or you can go and work for your previous bosses. That is called as exit from consulting, the opportunity. So exit opportunities, right? So the 3 or 4 major reasons why folks want to get into consulting. Number 1 is the salary itself. Number 2 is the exposure that they get. And number 3 is the network they build. Now, with all said and done, how can you become a consultant? What is the roadmap for you to become a consultant, right? The first thing that I want to emphasize, whether you are a student, an undergrad student, first year undergrad student, or a final year undergrad student, or a working professional with 10 years, 15 years experience, doesn't matter. All these consultants want is, are you a good problem solver? Because we noticed that what do these guys do? They are going and solving problems for their clients. So they first understand, are you a good problem solver or not? And how can you develop this problem solving mindset? Wherever you go, doesn't matter. If you go into your neighborhood kirana store, understand what are the potential problems these guys might be facing, and don't stop at the problem. See if you can provide the solution for that problem, or at least think through in your head, right? Go and talk to them and see that, hey, probably these are the 3 things that you should be doing, and that might help improve your overall sales of these grocery stores, right? Number 2, you walk into some other bakery and see, hey, this is the problem. There's a long queue. How can you potentially reduce the length of the queue? You see every single day, there are 10s of 15s of business problems that you would encounter. Don't just crib about it, but try to come up with a solution for it. And this is how you improve your problem solving abilities. Problem solving abilities won't be improved if you are just sitting in the interviews. These interviews are very stressful, right? There are high stakes in these interviews. So for you to come up with good solutions, you would have practice in very natural setups. So strongly recommend you to probably go and think about being a problem solver in every single situation that you face on a day-to-day basis. This is absolutely important, guys, for every single person out there. Whether you are an undergrad student or whether you are somebody with, let's say, 10-15 years of experience, this is some skill that you'll definitely test. And how are they going to test it? Through case interviews. You do not know what the case question would be, but you are going to solve the case, right? And this experiences will help you understand, hey, what are the potential solutions? What are the problems that these guys might be facing and how you can help them? Now, in the case of college students, the solutions might be little. In the case of college students, the focus might be a little different. For example, you still need to have excellent GPA, whether you are getting hired on campus or when you are applying off campus, doesn't really matter. You need to have a good GPA. Number 2, you need to show that you have some good leadership or extracurriculars on your CV, right? Probably leading a club or doing something different outside of the university, right? Good internships. All these things do matter, because you are going and putting out yourself and you're saying that, hey, I interacted with a lot of people, I solved a lot of problems, which are fundamental to the management consulting industry, right? And finally, you should also be preparing for your case interviews, like we talked about previously. But once you get in, you are probably a little more structured towards solving cases. I have created a lot of videos around case solving. I'm going to give the links in the description box. Please go check them out on how to solve cases specifically. If you are looking for working professionals, in this scenario, your experience matters a lot more than your GPA. And what does experience mean? You need to go and look at what these companies are doing on their websites, right? And see what is the match between what you are doing and what these companies are doing. If there is a good match, please go ahead and apply. You again prepare for case interviews, all that stuff. But if there is not a good match, I would insist that you should first develop that match. You should probably go ask your manager for some other additional work. You get a little bit more expansive in the responsibilities that you take up at work, and then try to match or overlap with the work that these consulting companies are doing, and then subsequently go ahead and apply, right? Experience matters a lot more, and then of course your case interviews. But every single interview doesn't matter whether you are an experienced individual or whether you are a fresher. Your problem solving abilities are tested again and again and again. And there are typically 4 to 6 interviews that happen, and every single interview has a case interview question. So now you know why I have put problem solving at the top of the list. I hope this is helpful, guys. If you want me to basically deep dive into any one of these sections, please do let me know in the comments box. And also please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any more questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much, guys. Look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.